We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball as Paul Canerico, Adam Dunn, Jose Quintana and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Miguel Cabrera, Pence Fielder, Victor Martinez, and the first place Detroit Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell, since we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. In Game 1, we took it 5-1. Beautiful effort by Chris Sale. Then last night, in a very sloppily played game, we had 4 errors. They won it 9-1. A lot of unearned runs in that game. But the Tigers right now on pace with that 5.5-game lead to win their third consecutive Central Division championship. And one of the reasons, you know, you've had Scherzer off to a great start. You've had Verlander, of course, but Anibal Sanchez.
When you take a look at Anibal Sanchez and you realize that they beat out the Cubs to get his services, you realize that they got themselves a good one. He's 13-7. His ERA leads the American League. And this is a guy with all 4 pitches, and his stuff has been remarkable this year. In fact, that curveball, when it's right, is almost unhittable. He's got pinpoint control with his fastball, and although you don't think a lot about him because of the other big names on this team, he's the guy over the last 9 starts that's been unbeatable. His ERA, outstanding. The opponent's not hitting anything. But Jose Quintana on the other side of the equation against the Tigers has been pretty close to the same thing. He's 2-0 against him. He's thrown the ball pretty well. He deserves a better record. He doesn't have one because of the no decisions. But I think he's in line for a big one tonight.
Well, Miguel Cabrera, because of injuries or what, is not swinging the bat the way he can, but Prince Fielder is.
Prince Fielder is swinging the bat as well as he swung it all year long. This is a guy with 99 runs batted in, and he gives a whole lot of protection to their big number 3 hitter, Cabrera. Last night he hit a rocket of a home run and left the ballpark in a heartbeat. And with Prince right now swinging the bat as well as anybody in their lineup and better than most people, you have to worry about him. But there's a lefty-lefty advantage with Quintana. Hopefully he can take advantage of that, and we can hold down the very good Detroit Tigers.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down, because today, America remembers.
is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. We're at 75 degrees at game time, and let's take a look at how Jim Leland is going to line up his Tigers tonight. Austin Jackson leading it off, and it's Torrey Hunter in the 2 spot. Then it's Cabrera, Fielder, Martinez, Castellanos, Infante, Avila, and Jose Iglesias playing shortstop and hitting 9th. The defense, and how they're going to line up behind Jose Quintana, Viciedo, Garcia, and Danks in the outfield, with Simeon, Ramirez, Garcia, and Canerco in the infield. Josh Begley gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana, on for his 30th start of the year. He's just 7-6, but that record is terribly deceiving. His ERA 3.70, 143 strikeouts, so he's had just a terrific year, but the no decisions have certainly gotten in the way. The umpires for the game tonight: Larry Vanover behind the plate, Manny Gonzalez at first, Brian Gorman, the crew chief, at second, and Tony Randazzo is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. That means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this 3-game set and the third of this 10-game homestand. So Austin Jackson gets in that box. He is ready to go as Jose Quintana's first pitch of the ball game. Taken for a strike. Jackson hitting at .276, 11 homers and 43 knocked in. He's 2 for 10 in this series. Oh, and 2 the count. Tigers come in hitting at .286 as a club. That's good. With a 3.71 team ERA, that's also good. Tigers 39-35 on the road, 44-27 at home. That's up high.
One of the things they've had is a surprising defense, because everybody felt the defense would be absolutely miserable this year, but the fact is they're 5th in the league, and they've gotten better with Iglesias at shortstop.
Much better. Much better. As that's off the corner, so the count 2-2. Says the 16th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 15, we are 6-9 against Detroit. And that's off the inside corner. Close, but didn't get to plate.
Pretty good idea on our Menards pitch tracks. He tried to thread the needle on the inside corner. He got it there, a little too far inside.
And the payoff. Got a piece of Fegley right there. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
This series, more than any other series I can remember, our pitchers have worked Austin Jackson low and away. When they get it there, more times than not, he swings through it or pops it up to the right side, and they're going there again.
Count hangs full. Got some finals. Pittsburgh beat Texas again. Rangers scuffling right now. Pittsburgh 7, Rangers 5. Kansas City beat Cleveland 6-2. He gone. Foul tipped and hung on.
That's exactly the spot. You stay away from Jackson. More times than not, you have no problems with it.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Torrey Hunter. Torrey did not play last evening. He was 0 for 3 in game 1. Comes in hitting at .297, 16 homers and 72 knocked in. 38-year-old veteran. Marcus Simeon at the cut of the grass at third. Outfield slightly to the right.
Tigers had big problems last year with the number 2 hole in their batting order, and this year, on a 2-year deal for $13 million a year, they added Torrey Hunter, and he's overall had a very good year for him.
There's a bullet right back through the middle.
Fortunately, Jose is able to get out of the way of this because it's a rocket. It nicked him, but I don't think it got him flush. If it did, he would still be trying to walk it off.
So here's the third baseman, Miguel Cabrera, hitting at .349, 43 homers, 133 driven in. He did not have an official at bat as he was ejected in the first inning in game 1. He was 0 for 5 last night as he takes strike 1. Miguel has faced Quintana 9 times, has 2 hits. One of them left the premises.
He hit a couple last night that he just missed. He hit them deep to right field, but they didn't go out. Most unusual for him.
Well, they were out at Comerica Park.
They would have been his 44th and 45th home runs. And if he is indeed going to win the Triple Crown again, he has got to pick it up in the home run department.
Oh. Close pitch. Didn't get it. They're just getting underway at Minnesota as they host the Athletics. Baltimore, bottom of the 4th at Camden Yards, leading the Yankees 2-1. Three and 1 to count.
And Baltimore playing with one eye on the Yankees and probably the other eye on Boston, as Boston leading Tampa Bay 3-0 because Baltimore comes in a game and a half in back of Tampa Bay.
And there's ball 4.
With Cleveland losing already today, they fall 2 games in back. And the Orioles, a game and a half back, 2 back in the loss column to the Rays. Of course, that could turn around drastically as the wild card looks like it is going to be a race, and a good one, the rest of the way.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Prince Fielder, hitting at .277, 23 homers, 99 driven in. He had 4 hits last night, including a homer. And if you missed it, poof.
This one didn't get up too high and didn't take too long to get out. The big man unloaded. Against our Sox, 288, 3 homers, 9 driven in 15 games. Those are pretty good numbers.
Well, Cabrera went 3 and 1, then ball 4. Seems like every time Cabrera walks to the plate, he's either 2-0 or 3-1. And now, the Bertucci boys. Bobby, Bruno, Handsome Anthony.
And Bobby with no sling.
Yeah, how about that?
Pretty good. Fast healer.
And the count 3-0. The last thing you can do against this club is be tentative.
Well, the next thing that's going to happen, if he doesn't get Fielder, is Don Cooper is going to make a trip to the mound. Because you lose your concentration at all against this lineup, and they can tack 7 or 8 runs on you in a hurry.
Yeah, they can blow it wide open in any inning. So there is back-to-back walks to Cabrera and Fielder. Sacks packed. 1 out. And here comes Victor Martinez, who was 4 for 6 in the series with a homer and 2 RBIs. And he is 2 for 3 lifetime against Quintana.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. No speed at second base. Pretty good speed at third. And surprising speed at first. The big man could run a little bit. Martinez has grounded into 22 double plays this year. Tops on their ball club. That's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah,
he didn't get it.
But
and
when you're walking, guys, you're not going to get it.
Well, he's hearing it from the dugout. Larry Vanover is yelling back that that pitch was up. But Larry, it was up, but it was the top part of the strike zone. But you're right about the fact that if you are up, down, in, and out and not throwing strikes, you're not going to get the benefit of the calls.
No, this is not like Jose at all. He is aggressive. He comes right at you, and he looks like he just doesn't want to throw a strike. Pitching away from the bat. The 2-0. He got a good pitch to hit right there. Couldn't do anything with it.
Well, if you're Victor Martinez, you know you're going to get a fastball, and you know you're most likely going to get it in the zone. He got both, and fortunately fouled it off. And 0 for the ground ball.
That would be nice under the circumstances. Helps him out, chases a bad pitch, and the count evens at 2. Castellanos on deck. Pops him up. Stay in here. Come back. Come back. It will. 2 down. Bases loaded. 2-0 to Martinez, who's been the hot stick on this club. And he gets it.
Well, he got it by keeping the ball up in the zone. The 3 pitches that were in the zone were all at the top part of the zone. The third of which he popped straight up. And so now only the rookie stands between Jose and getting out of this inning unscored upon, and those are the numbers at AAA Toledo. Those numbers will get substantially better because this guy can hit.
21 years old. Takes first pitch strike. He won't get one better than that in this sequence unless it's a hanger. 1-1 to count. Nick played in the first game, went 1 for 3. Sharp angle in the hole, left side.
He's taking the spot of Matt Tuiasosopo, who against our left-handers was pretty good. He cut that fastball way in on his hands. Castellanos committed to it. By the time he went to swing at it, it was a good 6 inches inside. Choking up on the bat a little bit. Trying to get better bat control.
Take him right here. You don't want to go full. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Almost got it by him. That one at 93. He reached back and put a little giddy up on that one.
Whole lot of pitches in the first inning, but if Jose can get out of this and put a 0 on the board, he will consider it very successful.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do, if at all possible, is keep turning this lineup over. So this has been a good inning for the Tigers, even if they don't score.
Even toward the bottom part, Infante 318, Iglesias 321. That's the 7th and 9th hitter. And Avila swung the bat as well as anybody in the lineup last night.
Yeah. 2-2 once again. There was a hanger, but a little quick. Right size, wrong shape.
Well, Nick shows you a little bit of how much power he's got. A rolling breaking ball well out ahead of it.
Well, there's a difference in experience right there. You take a veteran, good chance he's going to kill that one, keep it fair, and hit himself a grand slam.
Yeah. Well, in a couple of years, this guy is going to do just that.
And a full count. Was way ahead. Now he's let him right back into it. He gone. Pitches out of it. They threaten big time, Fred. Can't score after a half inning of play. It's Detroit nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
Garcia leading it off, then Danks, Ramirez, Canerco. Adam Dunn the DH with Avisail Garcia, Viciedo, Fegley, and Simeon rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Anibal Sanchez. Castellanos, Jackson, and Hunter in the outfield with Cabrera, Iglesias, and Fade and Fielder in the infield. Alex Avila behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Anibal Sanchez, on for his 26th start of the year. His ERA, an American League leading .261, 168 strikeouts and 158 in the third innings. He has been an outstanding pitcher this entire season.
And before we show you our picks to click you at home, select yours. Every time I've watched this guy pitch an inning or two on my MLB app, he hangs very few breaking balls and he keeps everything down, and he's got terrific movement. But when it's like if you're hitting on a team where you've got Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder, those guys are going to get the publicity. When you're pitching on a team that's had a Max Scherzer year, so to speak, and even Verlander, who's not had a good year, this guy has been one of the best under-the-radar pitchers in all of baseball.
Well, Verlander's the guy that was getting all the pub in spring training, and justifiably so. I mean, he's been their best pitcher for quite some time.
That's going to be a base hit. So good speed aboard.
This is what Garcia has to do, and that is put the ball on the ground. Iglesias knows how fast he is, and that prompted the bad throw. If a normal guy with normal speed was running down the line, Iglesias would have been able to make that play, plant his back foot, and make a good solid throw over the top. He knew he didn't have the time, and so Leori's aboard.
And here's Jordan. Jacks it up.
Getting back to their rotation, when Verlander gets all the pub, all of a sudden the season starts and Max Scherzer is beating everybody in sight. So now everybody talks about him. And then they talk about the underrated Fister. And in the meantime, Anibal Sanchez started out the year not as good as Max Scherzer, but then nobody else did. And he just has sailed right along, throwing the ball as well as you could expect it to be thrown, and benefiting, like so many of their pitchers, from a whole lot of offense behind it. Kind of a disappointing year for the ace of their staff, Justin Verlander. He still will pick up a whole lot of innings, keep them out of the bullpen.
Well, that was a title that was sort of starting to dissipate a little last year with Scherzer and that changeup of his. Our hitters talking about Scherzer being the best pitcher on that staff last year, 2012.
Yeah, I think they felt that he had the best stuff. They didn't know, nobody could have foreseen what happened this year, but they knew, as far as stuff was concerned, you take a guy whose fastball last year was the second or first fastest average in the league.
Yeah. And
then you add the hard slider that he has along with a straight change. Wow.
Boy, you got to jump right there.
Well, that was Sanchez's fault because Garcia was pretty much going before Sanchez delivered the ball. No chance at all for Avila. He could have done whatever he wanted to do. Yeah. He wasn't going to get him.
So he is now 4 for 5 in that category.
That's why he has got to hit the ball on the ground and get on base.
Well, you summed it up very well last evening. He's got to have somebody sit him down. I don't care who it is. Somebody sit him down and just explain to him, Leary, we do not need you to hit any home runs.
No. We
don't want you to hit one home run. What we want you to do is hit a lot of ground balls. Keep the ball on the ground. We want you to hone your skill in the bunting department. There's ball 4, so here we go. First 2 men aboard. And if he can do that, between hitting ground balls and bunting, he will be a 300 hitter.
Well, also what he does give you is the flexibility of a guy that can play almost any position. We've seen him play third. We've seen him play second and short. We know he can play center field. So when you have those abilities, then you have to convince the powers that be that you have a chance to at least compete for an everyday job. I'm not saying that he's going to win it. But with his speed, if he consistently hits the ball on the ground and does what a leadoff or number 2 hitter can do, he's got a chance.
So here's Alexei. He's due. He's 0 for 7 in this series, hitting at 281, 4 homers, 43 knocked in. Takes first pitch strike. Well, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to occur during the offseason. But I would just say right now that going into spring training, Leary has got an excellent chance of coming north with this ball club.
Well, I think one of the things that Rick Hahn is going to have to do, and this is going to be essential.
That could be trouble. No, it's foul. Prince,
he lost it.
He did. He momentarily lost it.
Otherwise, he makes that catch because he was close enough where if he kept on going, even though it would have been a very difficult catch, he would have made it. But he hesitated, and by pulling up there, I mean, he's a little too far from the stands to worry about the seats at that point.
Meanwhile, the count 0-2.
Getting back to Rick, I think Rick's going to have to make a decision on which guys he feels will bring him back something in a trade. And then you start to develop what your team is going to look like, depending on who you have and who you make available in the wintertime.
Well, there won't be too many of our pitching staff made available. Our pitching staff going into spring training is going to be one of the best in the major leagues. As that's out number 1 going into spring training. Now coming out's a different story. We don't know. But the players usually make those decisions for you if in fact there's not any new acquisitions. So here's Paulie. Paulie hitting at 251, 10 homers, 49 knocked in, 3 for 8 with a couple of RBIs in this series. And he's only had 2 at-bats against Sanibel, and he's 0 for 2. Good eye.
For a little over 2 weeks, encompassing 14 games, Paul has been swinging the bat very well. He's taking it right back up the middle. He's using right center field. He's taking what most of the pitchers are trying to do to him, which is keeping the ball away and going that way.
Takes a strike. 1 out, 1-1 to count. Well, I'm just firmly convinced that with a couple of moves, this ball club could be in contention next year.
Think Cabrera and Trout will be available?
The only bad thing about it is that there's, in my opinion, I think there's only 2 teams in the big leagues that would not trade their 5 starters for our 5 starters. And we're playing against one of them.
Well, this team's 5 starters are just about as good as you can assemble in this day and age.
Yeah. And the other are the Dodgers. I don't think they would trade their 5 starters for ours either.
No, that guy at the top, Clayton Kershaw.
And number 2's not bad either.
Is that Greinke? No, not bad at all.
So 3-1 to count. So that's when you get 30 teams and there's only 2 that wouldn't trade their 5 starters for yours, and you're in pretty good shape. Well, he had a big 2-out, 2-run single off Scherzer in game 1. Got us off to a good start. Ball hit hard. Nice pick by Cabrera. Back him up. Nice pick by Prince. Boy, that's a big league double play right there. Meanwhile, after 1, no score. It's Dan Hayes. And Dan, the topic tonight is
Connor Gillespie. We obviously, I know you guys documented last night how difficult of a night it was for him, and we talked to him a little bit after the game, and you know, he was he was taking it as hard as you would expect it. He really owned up to it, and you know, the thing that I thought was the most interesting about it was that the coaches today basically said they had to wait until today to talk to him about it because they knew what they were going to say last night wasn't going to have an effect, that it was going to need to like soak it in for a day, and no matter how hard they pushed it, that he needed to forget about it, that it was going to be today that he was more willing to listen, that he was going to be open to it, because no matter what they said, it wasn't going to make the sting of last night any easier, I guess.
Not a thing. There's nothing you could have said. I mean, you know, but the thing about it is everybody's had that kind of a night. Robbins had that kind of a night. McEwing's the infielder had that kind of a night. I had that kind of a night. Everybody who's played the infield has had that kind of a night. And Steve and I felt bad for him. We felt sorry for him. I mean, you knew the ball was going to try to find him. You knew the ball was going to hunt him down.
Yeah, and he actually said last night was the first time in his career that he actually felt, I hope it's not hit my way. And you know, I mean, that's, the ball finds you. And, you know, it's something that you talk to Joe McEwing, and he is a very, he's very impressed by how hard Gillespie has worked and put in to improve that defense over the course of the season. And so they were both, him and Robin, were very concerned about how Connor would take it last night. I mean, you guys know Connor a little bit, that he's very hard on himself. He thinks that he wonders if he ever's going to get hit again, you know, that kind of thing. And so they were very worried. Joe actually said he stayed up part of the night worrying about how Connor was taking that night. And, you know, they talked to him today and let him know that performance was over with. They know it's not what he's about at third base, that it's kind of it's just a outlier, that they know that he's a better defensive third baseman than that. It's a bad night, and to kind of forget about it.
Well, in my time zone, when you had a night like that, like the one I had against the Yankees when I committed 3 errors in 1 inning, somebody on that bench is going to yell out as that ball is hammered by Avila, who had 4 hits last night. So he's going to start it off right here with a 1-out double, but somebody's going to say hide the razor blades. I mean, that's what they're going to say, and that was more or less the way they handled it to break the ice.
The one thing that Robin was really impressed by, he heard some of his post-game comments, and I guess Connor said the same thing today, was that basically in 10 years he could laugh about it. He actually said that last night. He said he's going to work on it and try and get it out of his head in the next day or two, but that in 10 years he figured he could laugh about it again and get past it. And Robin thought that was a very good sign, just because he knows that he was letting up on himself a little bit. And, you know, the one thing that Gillespie was very adamant about last night was that he's not going to change his style. He knows that he called it high risk, high reward. He's willing to go after balls. It's going to lead to more errors just because he's trying to keep stuff in play. And, you know, I mean, they're very pleased to hear that, just because they want him to, you know, they know that he's put in that effort, and that, as McEwen said to me today, he can look at himself in the mirror and say, I put in the time, I put in the effort, I took risks and knew that it possibly could lead to an error, but at the same time, he gave it his all and kind of knew that he could at least live with that part of his game.
I think there's also another factor, and I think that when you looked at our team in spring training, and you look at the acquisition of Connor Gillespie, he was never intended to have played this much at third base. It was going to be a situation where he might have been on and off with Jeff Keppinger because Gordon Beckham was going to play every day at second, and then Gordon had the surgery, and all of a sudden the year changed for Connor. Because when he came over because he's got a short stroke. Rick Hahn envisioned that he would be able to hit off the bench, envisioned that he would play against some of the tougher right-handers, but never envisioned that he would play all this much. And you wonder, when someone is put into a role that was not designed for them to be in, how it affects them over the long haul, and we might be seeing some of that.
Yeah, and he said there's a chance he's a little bit tired. I mean, this is September, and most guys, he's had a taste of September before, but there's a reason why players talk about the grind. And I know I haven't experienced that, but as a reporter, I can tell you the grind is there for everybody in that clubhouse, walking in and day out. And when it gets to September 11th and it's a season like this, motivation it's there, but at the same time, there's a little bit of struggle at times to find it, because you know that your season's been over for 3 months now, and so they're fighting, but it's a long season for sure.
Well, it's going to be E6, and that's one of the things that we have seen way too much of. And so, although the ball was hit hard, Alexei was right there, and once again, the Tigers will get 4 outs in the inning.
Well, a lot of our fans remember Robin at third base as being a great third baseman, which he turned out to be. When we first got Robin Ventura, he was not a great third baseman. Doug Mansolino did a real good job working with him, and Robin put the work, the time, the effort, the sacrifice, the sweat in, and became a great third baseman. But he was not. Robin's had nights like Connor had last evening.
Yeah, and
so that's a good break for Connor.
Absolutely, and you've seen it a couple times on the road where at the end of batting practice he'll stay out there and take more grounders with McEwen, or before batting practice he's out there. I mean, the kid's a hard worker, and defense was definitely something that was sort of a question with him coming in, and he's definitely become more solid as this year has gone on, and Robin talked about that. He said he's seen improvement, and they like the way it's gone. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's trying to figure out how to hit at this level and then try to maintain that glove. And I mean, there's so many aspects that go into it that you can see how, I mean, he's got to cover a lot of ground, and obviously it's his job, but there's going to be a day like this here and there.
All right, Dan Hayes from CSNChicago.com. Thanks for the info, buddy. Oh, and to the count to Torrey Hunter, who singled. He almost took Quintana off the bump with a bullet. lot of the great third basemen, and we've talked this, we've touched on this several times in the last few years, Stoney, is Brooks will tell you that when he first came up, was really shaky at third base. Okay?
Got to get used to the speed of the game.
It is. Certainly you got to get used to the Major League Baseball speed. And then Greg Nettles. Greg was one of the great third basemen. And when he played with me in Cleveland, I'm telling you, he was a butcher over there at third. He was a stone butcher.
And became
one of the best.
Yeah.
Clete Boyer told me that he started off, and there's another guy who was a great third baseman. He started off as a butcher over there and became because of hard work. Well, Robin won 6 Gold Gloves, and in his first year with us, he had 25 errors at third base. He gone, so he pitches out of another jam. And after an inning and a half, still no score.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Adam Dunn will lead it off for us. He'll be followed by Evasihil Garcia, Diane Viciano. Adams Dewey's 0 for 7 in the series. Comes in hitting at .221, 31 homers, 82 knocked in. Adams 7 for 27 lifetime off Sanchez, and of the 7 hits, all 7 have stayed in the park.
That's a good, sharp breaking ball. It's off the plate. See how late it breaks, and for Adam, his eye thinks it's a fastball, and then it just disappears.
Got him upstairs. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Banjo directing the crew, one with Tank. Steve's Gordon with Jordan Banks and all the first responders on the 12th anniversary of 9/11. All the first responders around the country, and of course those who were there in New York. We're going to go with Yuri Garcia. And of course we were there when that happened on September 11th, 2001.
What Sanchez can do as well as anybody is not only make good pitches with the 4 pitches he has, but he changes eye levels exceptionally well. Like he did with Adam. He stays down, down, down. All of a sudden that last high fastball's eye high, and changing eye levels is very difficult for a lot of pitchers to be able to do and do consistently. And that's one of the reasons why Sanchez is as good as he is. Abasale didn't like the call, but the call was a very good pitch. Menard's pitch tracks.
It was a good strike.
Yes, sir.
And that is popped up. Infante will make the play. Sox fans, now is your chance to tell us what you think and win an autographed White Sox jersey in the process. Simply visit whitesox.com/survey during tonight's game and provide us your feedback. In doing so, you'll be entered for the chance to win an autographed Gordon Beckham jersey. So visit whitesox.com/survey. Here's Tank. Tank at 264, 12 homers, 49 driven in. 2 for 7 in the series. Takes first pitch strike. Ate him up inside. Nice, easy 1, 2, 3 inning, and we're into the third.
Central Playbook with Jim Miller. Former Bears quarterback will take you through Sunday's game and let you know what to expect from this weekend's matchup with the Vikings. Watch Sportsnet Central Playbook with Jim Miller tonight at 10:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Here's Cabrera. He drew a walk. Takes a breaking ball strike. Got that one by him upstairs. Instead of being 2-0, he is 0-2. He gone. Good pitch on the outside corner.
He just outguessed him there. After one up and in, he threw one that split the corner perfectly. Our Menards pitch tracks. Showing you a very good hitter just looking for something in a different spot.
5 strikeouts now for Quintana. And here's Prince. He drew a walk his first trip. Paulie stays right with it.
Fielder hits this ball very hard. Paul knows that he's got plenty of time, and he takes it himself.
Well, Paul is one of the best you'll ever see on rockets. Staying in front of them.
You stay in front, you can bobble it, you can do whatever you want, especially at first base. You're going to make the play.
Yeah, and you can get some face burgers too.
Nice bruises, yes.
Martinez popped out foul to Fegley with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first inning. This will be the 55th pitch thrown by Quintana, and a lot of them have been under duress.
Now, the first inning, he really struggled. Second inning, he thought he was out of it, only to come back and pitch over an error by striking out Torrey Hunter. And he would dearly love to have a 1-2-3 inning here.
Souvenir right side. Oakland leading Minnesota 2-0. Top of the third inning at Target Field. Yankees and Baltimore tied at 3. Bottom of the 6th in Baltimore. Three and 1. Cincinnati shut out the Cubs 6-0 at the Great American Ballpark. Leak over Samardzija. He put a little Tommy Hawk, little top hand on that one. So a 4 count. And he pops this one up. So he's going to have himself a nice 1-2-3 inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. side is Sergeant Alan Lynch of the U.S. Army, our hero of the game. And, of course, the 12th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Fagley, Simeon, then back to the top of the order with Garcia. Takes ball one. Two and oh the count. Put a good pass on that one, just underneath it.
He had a fastball right down the middle. It wasn't one of Sanchez's best, but as you can see, he doesn't mind seeing Anibal Sanchez. That was a grand slam in Detroit that he hit.
Count evens. And there's a base hit in the hole. So a good way to start.
Josh got a high fastball. It was out away, and he was able to reach up, turn it around, and take it in the hole.
So here's Marcus. That's what he did in the minor leagues. 2 for 8 since being called up. Southern League MVP. Takes ball one. No, don't help him out. Zone him in, reel him in, and square him up. That ball hit hard, but right at him. Boy, that's a hang Wolfram right there.
Looking for a 2-0 fastball, and he got it. And Marcus hit this one about as hard as you can hit it. Unfortunately, Nick Castellanos is standing right there and made the catch.
So here's Leuri. He had an infield single. And now he singles to right field. So he is 2 for 2 with a stolen base.
And it could very well be that we're seeing the abandonment of the switch hitting phase of Leuri's career, because he's facing Sanchez right-handed, and you can hardly do any better than he's done.
Yeah, he did that last night over Porcello.
And that's your best side. That's the best you have. It's your best chance.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Stoney. It's if you feel more comfortable on one side than the other, stay there. It's just that simple. Most of your real good switch hitters in the past, they feel comfortable on both sides of the plate. So it's okay for them. And one of the greatest that ever lived, of course, as we've talked about before, Mickey Mantle, hated the switch hit. But he did it because he promised his dad. And that's hooked just foul. He told me that he would much rather hit right-handed all the time. And I saw him hit right-handed against some knuckleballers.
Well, the oddity about the switch hitter is that most of them are right-hand hitters. And because the majority of starters are right-hand pitchers, they decide to switch hit so that the breaking ball moves into them. But you're only going to hit from the right side 25% of the time. So you're hitting 25% from your best side, 75% from the side that you've made the adjustment to. And many of the guys just never get it done.
Nice by Avila.
That was a really good stop, because this could have easily have gone to the screen.
Well, the first thing that a hitter has to do, who's contemplating switch hitting, is find out how he wants the ball. Does he want it coming into him, or does he want it going away from him? You may have to make that determination. Now, I was a guy that I wanted the ball coming into me. A lot of guys want the ball going away from them. Did not go. Mickey, right-handed, was hit 330 in his career.
Natural side.
Yeah. He had 281 as left-handed hitter.
Not too bad.
No, well, when you win Triple Crown and MVP a few times, that's pretty good.
Not too bad.
But almost a 50-point difference. 49. Full count. And he gets called out by Larry Vanderbilt.
Jordan thought that he had checked his swing. Larry Vanover says no. No appeal necessary.
Here's Alexei. He struck out his first trip. And that's right to the bag. Softly hit. So we get a couple of hits, Strand a couple. And we'll go to the fourth. Still no score.
shoulders. First pitch down the middle. Count even. Now it's 1-2. And 2-2 as he fouls it off. And continues to foul them off. Working the count full. He swings through a fastball, and there is the whiff.
And the first pitch down low. Ball 1 to the 21-year-old. And a nice catch of the bat.
Well, the bat shatters. The ball goes into right field for a base hit. And fortunately, because it comes in like a spear right over the dugout, nobody's hurt.
One thing about it, this gentleman here did not back off one bit. He went right after that bat. So here's Infante.
And he's got a handful of pine tar.
One hop him. Simeon. Back him up. Very, very nice. Crisp looking.
Sure helps on the first pitch to hit it right at third. And no chance at all for Castellanos to get any piece of Garcia on the pivot.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting winter and an interesting spring. Here's Alex. He's 5 for 5 in this series. 4 for 4 last night. Then he doubled in the second inning.
Overall, it has been a very tough year for him. And a lot of physical problems. Not swinging the bat like he knows that he can. And this particular stretch might be his best of the season because he's squaring up everything.
Oh, 0-2 the count. And lays off that one up high. Jose Iglesias on deck with 2 out and a 1-2 pitch.
And some tough news out of New York. Derek Jeter's season has come to an end. Left ankle injury put him on the disabled list. He was never able to get over the leg problems that plagued him this entire season. And the Yankees certainly hope that he comes back 100% because he means so much to that ball club.
That's in the center field. We got a man there. And another nice inning. Lead off broken bat single, double play, fly ball. Go to the bottom of the 4th. No score.
Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
Paul Canerco, Adam Dunn, and Abigail Garcia here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 0-3-0 for their guys, 0-3-1 for our guys. Jose Quintana had the bases loaded, 1 out. In the first inning, pitched out of it. Got Martinez to foul out to Fegley and struck out Castellanos. Probably can't get it. Yeah, that's too bad about Jeter.
Well, he tried so many times. I mean, he had more rehabs this year than most guys have in half their careers.
Yeah.
And yet every time he came back, had another leg problem of one sort or another.
Softly hit to Iglesias. 1 out.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay. And this is a rocket. Good pick by Cabrera. The easy double play after that. That was the first Canerco at bat. And good defense on the part of the Tigers.
Well, we have 40 more errors than they do this year. Last year, in contrast, we allowed 30 unearned runs all year long. That was by far the least amount of unearned runs in the major leagues. And the Tigers allowed 84.
Well, they get a whole lot better with Torrey Hunter moving into right field. That's one of the things. And, of course, Iglesias at shortstop.
In the range factor.
No question.
Yeah. But Peralta, if he got to it, what did Johnny have? 4 errors? 4 errors all year. But, yeah, a lot better in the range factor.
Well, Infante is a terrific second baseman.
Who was that manager a few years ago? Said when sabermetrics first came out. I can't remember who it was. They were talking to him about, because there was no stealing of the bases, no hitting and running and all that stuff, you know, they were going to change the way the game was played.
Yep.
And they talked about, well, you know, that's going to finally equate into lack of range. And his response was, range in baseball is not that important.
But the lack of it is very important.
And my response when I heard about it was, tell him to go talk to some pitchers.
Yeah, the range is not important if you have it. If you don't have it, well, it leads to some pretty big innings.
I think it was either the Toronto manager or one of the managers with Oakland. As that's out number 2.
If I had to guess, I would be staying in this country.
So here's Garcia.
You know, but when you talk about great range, it's interesting because it is somewhat deceiving in that guys who understand, number one, if you have a pitching staff that can work a game plan and you can throw the ball where you want to throw it, and two, if you understand how to set up and play each hitter the way you should, it doesn't appear that you have great range because they're going to hit a lot of balls right to you. Cal Ripken's a great example.
He's the poster child
Yeah.
for that.
And Jeter, somewhat same thing. I mean, he sets up real well. Their pitching staff was good enough to execute a game plan, and so you don't need great range. The only times you need great range is when a pitcher is throwing away from your defense. It always helps, but it's not necessarily indicative of a guy who understands where to be on a certain pitch or situation.
The ball hits sharply, takes a bad hop, but Infante stays with it. 1, 2, 3 inning. That's 5 in a row retired by Sanchez, and we're into the 5th. Leading off here in the top of the 5th inning. Still no score. Glacius called out on a fastball on the outside part.
Only one 1-2-3 inning for Quintana so far, that coming in the 3rd inning. But he's had a very good bounce back game after some problems in the 1st and the 2nd.
Marcus Semien sucks it up. 1 pitch, 1 out. Get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge, stats, tweets with Sox in-game live only at Comcast, csnchicago.com. In-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Well, usually we're talking about range. Usually guys who have a tremendous amount of range make errors. And they're going to make errors because they get to balls that other guys can't get to, and then a lot of times you'll see the error comes on the throw.
I was going to say, if they believe or they have big arms,
right,
they're going to try to make a play that a normal shortstop wouldn't make, because they believe their arm is good enough to get everybody all the time, when sometimes they would be better served just taking put it in their pocket.
And that's why outfielders who have real good arms are going to make errors. That ball hit hard, but right at him. That's a hang whoop him for Austin Jackson.
Well, if any of these pitchers needs a very short, low pitch inning, it's Quintana. And so far, if he can get Hunter out early in the count, it will be a very good inning for him.
Torres singled and struck out. Top of the 6th down in St. Pete. Carmine's leading the Rays 3-1. Dempster on the bump.
Cobb going to the mound for Tampa Bay, and he's one of the really good young pitchers around.
I like him. I like his competitiveness more than I like his stuff.
Well, took a line drive off his head earlier this year, and he's come back and thrown the ball exceptionally well.
Yeah, he's got that good face, that look. As Torrey can't get it, and count 1 and 2.
Well, the surprising
and he will throw it behind you too.
I should say, the surprising thing this year has been Hellickson, because everybody thought he was in line to have a huge year, And for Tampa Bay, it hasn't worked out that way.
Another souvenir right side. Boy, that Jim Hickey just keeps running guys out there who get guys out.
They've raised some very good arms.
And been taught well.
And I like the philosophy of Joe Madden and the entire organization on that. We'll get back to that.
That is the 1-2-3 inning. That's 5 in a row retired by Quintana. We're halfway home, still scoreless. All right, Art Tuck, thank you very much. As we get set to go to the bottom of the fifth, it'll be the lower third of our order. Viciedo, Fegley, and Simeon.
This has turned out to be a terrific pitcher's duel. It didn't look like it was going to start out that way, but it has turned into it, as both teams have managed just 3 hits against the opposing pitcher.
Well, the play of the game so far has, after Quintana pitched out of that bases loaded 1-out situation in the first inning, play of the game is that play by Miguel Cabrera, starting the double play off a rocket off the bat of Konerko.
Good backhand down the line, and then an easy 2.
So that's 1 away. And if you want to be treated, not traded, if you want to be treated like a White Sox player, join former White Sox greats at White Sox Fantasy Camp, January 13th through the 20th, 2014, at the White Sox Spring Training Facility in Glendale, Arizona. So for more information, call 312-674-5398. Good buddy of mine just enrolled in that. And he also has retained the services of a EMT. He's
going to need a whole medical crew.
Yeah, well,
he spends a week down there.
He's already made arrangements. He's got the ambulance, all the oxygen.
It's a good idea.
The whole bit.
I asked him what position he's going to play. He's leaning toward DH.
He said he wants to play third base.
Oh.
How's it? Bring your cup. That's a fun time out there. Those guys have a ball.
That's also a wonderful time of year, especially for those who spend the year in Chicago or any other cold weather climate. You get down there middle of January, It's gorgeous. The facilities are great. You get a feeling of what it's like, at least for a week, of being a major leaguer and coming to spring training.
Well, I never thought, you know, living in Florida for a long time and spring training down there in Florida most of the time. The only time I had spring training in Arizona was in Tucson with Cleveland, and I hated it. But once we moved up the Scottsdale area,
pretty nice.
It's a different planet.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And I absolutely love it out there. Eris does too. My wife, my gorgeous Greek wife.
Well, there's a huge advantage, and that is, unlike Florida, which is great. I've trained on both sides, trained in Miami, trained in Sarasota. But the travel in Arizona is so much less that you get much more time to actually work on things, because your longest bus ride is about 45 minutes.
Well, if it keeps going the way it's going right now, I don't know how long it's going to be, but everybody's going to be out there because of the travel time. You can get so much more work in. You got, in some places down there in Florida, you got 3.5, 4 hour bus rides. One way. So you're talking about, you know, 7, 8 hours a day on a bus.
You know, Jeff Jones is coming out now to talk with Sanchez, who has fallen behind 2-0 after walking Fegley. In a 0-0 game, these situations become essential, especially the guy in the on-deck circle is 2 for 2.
But the longest trip we had was from Glendale to Mesa.
That's it. And there'll be a new stadium this year, by the way, in Mesa. The Cubs will have a new facility, which is going to be gorgeous.
Marcus, 0 for 1. He hit a bullet. Castellanos in left field. Right at him. Chase the bad one right there. So 2-2 the count. And a full count. Don't help him out. Ball 4 base hit. And for an organization that a lot of people think has a terrible minor league system, our Birmingham team opens the Southern League Championship tonight at defending champion Mobile. Plus, we've had 2 MVPs as there's the strike him out. And he's safe. Chase, a tough pitch right there.
Avila made it a whole lot closer than it should have been, because his pitch is low and out of the zone. Tough ball to handle. Avila gets it down there, but Josh Fegley in just ahead of the tag, so he's in scoring position. A man who has 2 of the 3 hits. First career stolen base.
Pick him up, Leary. Garcia 2 for 2. He also has a stolen base. Take strike 1. Big gap in left center if he can find it. And Torrey Hunter playing very shallow and right. It's going to be tough for Fegley to score on a line drive to right. It's back through the middle. Glacius gets that nice hop and can't get it. No, that speed beats it out. That'll be another base hit for Leary Garcia. 3 for 3.
Not too many right-handers are going to be able to beat that play up the middle. especially with Iglesias and his strong arm. So he gets to it quickly, does a 360 spin, puts it right on the money, and it's not in time. So it keeps the inning alive, putting runners at the corners. And again, the fact that Leary was able to hit the ball on the ground has turned into gold.
3 for 3 tonight. 2 infield singles. And that line drive back in the third to right field. So here's Jordan, a walk and a strikeout. Goes through that fastball. That fastball at 96. He's a sneaky 96.
Jordan wouldn't mind seeing another one at 96 if it was down.
Garcia took off. He had that base stolen.
Sanchez threw a fastball that was up at 96, and Jordan fouled it straight back.
It's hard to beat speed.
If you have it on both ends of the game, offensive and defensive, it can be a huge weapon.
There he goes again. So he will steal that one. Now base hit scores 2. Hard to beat speed. Just got a piece of it.
He got lucky because that was a straight change. He didn't want it inside. And I'm kind of surprised that Avila actually called for this. See, he's sitting low and away, and Sanchez makes a mistake, and he's very fortunate he didn't pay for it with 2 runs.
Two on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, if you don't have a lot of speed, you better have a club that's going to hit 200 plus home runs.
He reached back, got his best fastball of the night. When you do that, you want to put it in the zone. At 97, he misses inside with it, and the count goes full.
Boy, this guy's a good pitcher. He is a good one.
The Cubs came very close to getting him, and then at the end, the Tigers upped the ante and retained him. Last year, he started the year in Miami, and the Tigers got him in a deal. He became a free agent, and they outbid the Chicago Cubs for his services. And for the Tigers, it was one of the very good moves that they made over the wintertime and continue to make as they moved past the trading deadline.
Ducks on the pond. 2 down, and once again the payoff. And that's ball 4. And that'll bring up Alexei, who is due. He's 0 for 9 in this series. So a good at bat for Jordan. Alexei has struck out. And a little soft ground ball to third. With men on first and second, that Cabrera just stepped on the bat. And he takes strike one. Did not like the call.
Well, you can understand where you might have thought this one was low, and plus Avila actually dragged it lower with the way he received the baseball. Catchers are taught to absorb the low pitches and actually come up with the pitch. Alex Avila kind of stabbed at it and went down with the pitch. It's tough to get the call if you receive it like that.
Gracious. So we have a threat. Bases loaded. Can't do anything with it. Still no score. Using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it just might be yours. Sixth inning, no score. They have no runs on 3 hits. We have no runs on 4 hits. Leury Garcia has 3 of the 4. Josh Fagley has the other. But the iron, the heart of the Tiger order coming up. Cabrera, Fielder, and Martinez. That's about the best 3, 4, and 5 in Major League Baseball. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, if they're not the best, I can't think of any team that wouldn't trade their 3, 4, 5 for these guys.
you got 29 of the teams that would. They would even pay the.
Buy the plane,
pay the postage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get these 3 guys in the middle of your lineup.
Cabrera's walked and struck out. Made a perfect pitch on him to strike him out in the 3rd inning.
Well, the thing with Cabrera is he remembers where that pitch was. Right now having some trouble with his eyes. His allergies kicking up for a whole lot of people. But he remembers he was called out on a pitch away. Now this might not be the situation where he'll go out there, but he'll remember that. And he's going to see another one out there.
And another strike. So the count 1-2. That pitch off the plate, but the 2 previous strike calls forces him out there.
You have to be careful to a very smart hitter how many times you go back to a spot where you got him before, because Cabrera's got pretty good coverage.
Well, for power, he's got the best power coverage of anybody in this league. I don't know about the National League, but I don't think there's anybody over there that has any more than he does. Power coverage.
Nope. As you can see, first 4 pitches away. Last one, the show me pitch inside. That's a change, and it's out of the zone away. As you can see, he'll hit it out of the park to left field, but also take it out in right.
And that ball hit deep into right field. So Jordan will get it back in, hold him to the single.
As they caught a break, there is no doubt that it's in this entire at bat, Cabrera's looking for the ball away. And the big break was that it didn't go out of the park. He was able to keep it down low enough so he got a line drive that hit the wall, and of course with the bad legs, Cabrera winds up at first. That could have easily been a 1-0 game.
Here's Prince. Prince got a pitch up out over the plate. Prince has walked and grounded out very hard to his counterpart, Canerco. To the count to Fielder.
This is a very good breaking ball, off speed and out of the zone. He had Fielder well out in front of it. Eight pitches last inning.
Tries to throw a dart on that outside corner. Long set now, too long for Prince. That's just got to be some gamesmanship right there, because Cabrera's not going anywhere.
No, there's no doubt that Quintana had in his mind he was not going to deliver the ball. He was going to wait as long as he could until Prince finally stepped out. Paul is behind Cabrera, trying to get a better angle on anything hit his way.
And that ball hit deep in the left field, but Tank is there. Makes the catch for out number 1.
That ball hit a long way to the opposite field. It's a high fastball. And fielder came a couple of feet from making it a 2-0 game. At first he thought he got it, then realized it was going to stay in the park.
So here's Martinez. Victor has fouled out to Fegley and popped up to Alexei. If you're just joining us, all the action really came back in the first inning of this game. Tigers had Jackson led it off with a strikeout, then a single by Hunter, a walk to Cabrera, a walk to Fielder. Bases loaded, 1 out, and then Victor had a couple of good pitches to hit, couldn't do anything with them, and finally fouled out to Fegley. And Castellanos struck out on an extended at bat, 3-2 pitch. Then we got the first 2 guys on the bottom of the first. Garcia singled, picked up a stolen base. Danks walked, and Alexei struck out, and Paulie hit a rocket down to Cabrera, who made a really good play on him, turned it into a double play, and that has been the play of the game. Boy, there's a shot. And he get him. Good recovery by Marcus. That was a bullet.
Well, also you have to give some credit to Marcus Semien in knowing that Martinez doesn't run very well, because normally you have this ball carry him that far away from you and you don't want to throw to first base. But a good pick by Paulie. This is not an easy one because it doesn't hit the grass. It's not the truest of hops. It hit the dirt, and he was able to complete the play on the other end.
So here's Castellanos. Struck out. Then leading off the fourth, it went right off the end of the bat, broke the bat. That shattered, went over our dugout, and the ball fell in for a single into right field. And Jordan is going to make that little can of corn, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Canerco to lead it off. U.S. Cellular Field at the Gate 5 Plaza. Bacardi at the park, so grab your friends, give them a visit. Ask Vasilios Process, and he'll take care of you. Bacardi at the park. Right here, 0-4-0 for them, 0-4-1 for us in the bottom of the 6th. Canerco, Dunn, and Garcia. Polly 0 for 2. Takes first pitch strike. 13-1 Oakland beating Minnesota. That's in the bottom of the 4th. Boy, those A's are like mongooses.
I like their chances tonight.
They get a hold of you, they just won't let you go. And that's just a little too quick on that one. Hooks it foul.
Well, Oakland knows that they've got a 2.5 game lead coming in because of the Texas loss today, as they get swept by Pittsburgh in Arlington. So if Oakland hangs on, and you would certainly assume they would with a 12-run lead, they're going to have a 3-game lead over the Rangers and try to force Texas into that one-and-done game for the wild card.
Oh, and 2 the count to Canerco. Well, another thing with Kansas City beating Cleveland, if we can beat Detroit tonight, Kansas City will move into second place, 6 games back of the Tigers. Takes that one up high. It's going to be fun to watch the last 3 weeks.
Well, when you consider that it's over in the National League West, it's over in the National League East, and pretty much it's over in the National League wild card. All eyes are going to be on the American League and that wild card race, as well as a couple of divisions seemingly up for grabs.
So Paulie strikes out, 1 out, and here comes Adam, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Well, Kansas City is going to be this weekend at Comerica Park against these Tigres.
Well, their ace went to the mound today. Big game James. And he beat Cleveland. Shields 11-9. Probably should be a whole lot better than that with an ERA of 3.38. But Indians got only 4 hits today.
One and one to count to Adam. Top of the 9th in Baltimore. Yankees have taken a 4-3 lead.
And Kansas City 9-7 this year against Detroit. One of the few teams has a winning record against it.
2-2. Kansas City, as we talked about the other day, is certainly not out of this thing at all. Full count. Lays off that fastball at 95 upstairs. For the Yankees, Cano hit number 27, Rodriguez hit number 6, and Granderson hit number 5 as they lead Baltimore 4-3. So 2 out. September 15th is Strikeout Stroke Day. So join our Sox in their effort to raise awareness of stroke warning signs and the importance of acting fast. The importance of acting fast. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/SOS. Marlins and the Braves had a little confrontation. There's a short hop pick to Peg. And that didn't take long. Couple of strikeouts, ground out, and we're into the seventh.
You just saw our Avis slow motion replay. For the most part, it's been a good defensive effort. And, of course, the pitchers have been dominant. 4 hits apiece. 7 strikeouts for Sanchez. 5 for Jose. Quite a pitcher's duel.
So here's Infante. It'll be Infante, Avila, and Iglesias, the lower third of the Tiger order. Breaking ball strike.
For Miami, it was Fernandez that won the ball game. 12-6, 2.19 ERA for a rookie. And they keep talking about shutting him down to make sure that his innings stay low. But he's just got overwhelming stuff. I mean, this is one of the real bright young kids to come into the major leagues the last couple of years.
Well, it wasn't his arm that got him into trouble. It was he hit a home run in that game. Brian McCann did not appreciate how he just stood there.
Didn't appreciate the trot.
And when he got around the home plate, Brian McCann let him know that.
Well, the game's going to teach you how to respect the game and how to respect the other team. And if the game doesn't teach it to you, some of the players will.
Two and two the count to the 31-year-old veteran infielder, Omar Infante. Full count. Make him hit his way on. He did. Tank gets to it, backhands it. Here he goes to second. And he will lead it off here with a double. That's his 22nd two-bagger.
This one caught a little too much of the plate. And Infante just rips it. With the play right in front of him and realizing that Viciedo is going away from the throw, he goes head first into second base. Tank got to it quickly and made a nice throw, but no chance to get him.
So here's Avila. Alex has doubled hard into right field, and he has hit the ball hard into center. And he's got a job to do right here.
Matt Lindstrom loosening up in a hurry as Jose is sneaking up on the 100 pitch mark. He's at 97. Interesting at bat because on the mound you're trying to keep the ball away from Avila. You want to do whatever you can to get him to hit the ball either in the air or on the ground to the left side. He's up there thinking about trying to hook anything he can and hit it to the right side.
Two and one to count. And he gets the job done. So a very productive at bat for Alex Avila. And a reminder, Sox fans, it's not too early to make plans for Sox Fest 2014 at the Palmer House Hilton, presented by Miller Lite, Pepsi, Comcast Sportsnet, Xfinity, and WGN TV. So join current players and White Sox greats January 24th, 25th, 26th for an exciting weekend of White Sox baseball. Visit whitesox.com/SoxFest for information. Another good time. Now the infield in. And here's Jose Iglesias, who has struck out and grounded to third.
He is a pretty good bunter and a good handler of the bat.
This kid just absolutely looks like a baseball player. And when we use that phraseology, by that we're talking about a guy who can do everything on a field pretty well, who knows how to play the game, who knows what to do. If you want him to bunt, he does a pretty good job. If you want him to hit the ball the right side, he does a pretty good job.
Well, here you have another confrontation, the same situation he had before that Avila won against Quintana. Iglesias is trying to look for something to hit in the air with the infield in. He has 2 sacrifice flies this year. He doesn't want to hit the ball on the ground. That's what Quintana is trying to force him to do with the infield in at all 4 positions. So we'll see who wins this particular battle.
Hooks that one foul. So the count now 1-2. Most of the time when you're talking about a guy who looks like a baseball player, usually it's a guy who is not a home run hitter. It's a guy who a lot of times is a middle infielder or an infielder or an outfielder who is a real good defensive player. Every now and then you have exceptions. Always have exceptions in baseball. You take a Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle. Those guys were baseball players. Yeah. And they hit a few home runs. But most of the time they're not home run hitters. He gone. Yes, upstairs. Big out. 2 down.
Could be the biggest out of the game to this point. A high fastball. Throws it right by Iglesias, who expanded his strike zone.
And here's Austin Jackson, who has struck out. Reached on an error, but he just killed that ball. Then he next time up in 8th inning, hit a rocket right to Garcia in center field. So he's 0 for 3, and he's just hurt it twice. Takes a strike. Mariano Rivera on the bump. Bottom of the 9th. Yankees leading the Orioles 5-3. That's inside. Oakland leading Minnesota 17-1. Breaking ball, couldn't get it.
Took a little something off at the 108 pitch mark, and he had Jackson well out in front of it. Austin Jackson has fanned 115 times, so he is no stranger to the strikeout.
Can he pull an Iglesias on him right here?
He hit him.
He hit him.
Tried to throw a high fastball by him, and unfortunately got part of the uniform. So Jackson is hit for the 4th time this year. And Jose has hit 5 men. And Don Cooper takes that long, slow walk to the mound. It's been just a great performance so far, and Don Cooper undoubtedly is saying, look, this is the last man you're going to face. It's the last inning you're going to pitch. So whatever you have, give it to me.
On the other side of that page, he's going to tell him that. Might as well just go ahead and get Lindstrom.
Well, I think you're at the point where you're out of the race and you're trying to build a little character with your young starter, who you know is going to come back and be one of your starting pitchers next year. After the job he's done tonight, they're probably saying, put the game in your hands. Let's see, because everything now is a test for these guys. See how they're going to handle every situation. And because this one,
I think we got a pretty good idea about how Quintana's going to handle.
For him, he's going to be terrific.
Yeah, he's just getting better and better. Hey, I don't disagree with you at all, because I'm of the opinion, after all these years of playing and watching this game, I like accountability.
And they're putting the game in his hands.
And they're putting it in his hands.
If he doesn't,
I love accountability.
If he doesn't get it done, well, he doesn't get it done. But at least he knows at the first sign of trouble, late in the game, they're not going to come and get me.
That's why I like the wipes. I like accountability. Let the pitcher call a lot of his own game. Let him throw the pitch with visceral conviction from deep down.
The first 2 pitches, he threw him right by Torrey Hunter.
And this will be pitch number 112. Runners at the corners, 2 out, and the 0-2 pitch.
Trying to throw it by him inside. He got it a little too far in.
Gotta hurry. Nice play by Garcia. Yes, Leary. Beautiful play, and that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch, still scoreless. Good, fun game to watch.
And for the most part, pretty well played on both sides of the equation. Certainly well pitched.
Well, we have an error, but that ball was absolutely killed. And the runner may have blocked out Alexei a little bit on it. But we've had some good plays, and we just saw one. Tank.
This is a very difficult play to make because you don't have a whole lot of time. Garcia comes in on the short hop. Now, once he's got it, he's got a shortstop's arm, so that's not the problem. And out of the inning with nary a run scored.
So Tank is 0 for 3, 1 out. And you can get more cash back when you earn up to 5% back on purchases in categories that you choose with the U.S. Bank Cash Plus Visa Signature Card. So apply today at any U.S. Bank branch. Pitch inside to Josh, who has singled, walked, also has picked up his first major league stolen base. We talked about Jose Fernandez of the Marlins hit a home run. He's the only pitcher this season to have at least a double, a triple, and a homer. So besides pitching, he can hit a little bit.
Tiger pen up and going. Smiley the left-hander, but Conan the right-hander. A very big right-hander.
The ball and 2 strikes. This is the rubber match of this 3-game set. We won the opener 5-1 behind Chris Sale. They won last night 9-1. Just a bad ball game for us. And starting tomorrow, make your plans to be with us here at the park. First of a 4-game set against Cleveland. As that is out number 2. Eight strikeouts now for Sanchez. Johnny Danks on the bump for us tomorrow night against Corey Kluber. Then on Friday, Hector Santiago against Danny Salazar, young right-hander for the Tribe. On Saturday, Andre Rienzo against Ubaldo Jimenez. As Marcus can't get it. Marcus is lined out hard to left and struck out. And Chris Sale will be out on the mound on Sunday against Zach McAllister. Yes, he did. And the count 0-2.
There's a very good chance that Sanchez, if he gets in trouble again, will exit. Until then, he's been in complete command, and he's out of the inning, and it's on to the 8th in this scoreless ball game. For Jose Quintana, he'll give way to Matt Lindstrom. Matt on for game number 70. He's 2-3. His ERA 2.89. That one's come down from the mid-4s. As you can see, left-handers have given him some problems. And he's got to go right through the very tough part of this order.
This is the iron. That breaking ball. Souvenir right side. Miguel has faced Matt 3 times, has 1 hit.
7 innings for Quintana, no runs, 5 hits, 2 walks. That coming in the first inning. 1 hit batsman and 6 strikeouts.
Look at this throw.
Well, I think Ramirez was surprised because I thought
Yeah.
he felt he was going to get it. But he didn't realize that he's got a guy with the range for a center fielder, with the range for a shortstop, playing second base. And Garcia just went right in front of him, went on the third base side of second, and gunned him out easily.
Wow. So here's Prince. He's walked, grounded very hard to Canerco, who made a good play on it, and flied deep to left field. And that's just muscle through for a base hit. Now that play by Garcia looms even larger, as that'll bring up Victor Martinez, who was over 3 tonight.
First time that Victor will turn around and hit from the left side. He is a better left-hand hitter. 309 as a lefty as opposed to 277 coming in as a right-hand hitter. Most of his power coming as a lefty.
He's 0 for 1 against Matt Lindstrom. A little bit low. Tampa Bay has tied up Boston at 3. Carmine's hitting in the top of the 9th.
There is one of the shortest leads you'll see. Prince could actually fall back on the bag on a pickoff attempt.
That's the Jim Thome lead.
It's telling the pitcher, look, don't throw over here. I'm not running. Donnie Deal loosening up in the pen.
Yanks that one foul.
The 2 left-handers that Jim Leland would think about using, one would be Andy Dirks and the other Don Kelly.
And in Baltimore, Mariano picked up his 43rd save as the Yankees beat the Orioles 5-4. Base hit. Prince will pull up at second, and now that play by Garcia looms even larger.
And it's actually a break that fielder had to jump up in the air to stop from getting hit by this. Martinez hits the ball awfully hard, and Prince has to go up and over, taking away any thought he might have had of going to third base.
Now, meeting of the mind at the mound. Another meeting. Castellanos. A strikeout, a broken bat single, and a pop up to right. Two on, one out. Breaking ball and the count 0-2. No runs on 7 hits, no errors for their guys. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for our guys. There's that little pop up into short right. Jordan is there. Route number 2. See that little shove in the swing right there on that breaking ball? That's going to bode well for him in the future.
Think he'll be able to drive the ball to the opposite field with that swing?
Yeah, because he won't use that thing, so he just naturally does it on a breaking ball. Yeah, he looks like he's got a chance to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, he's very strong. He's going to fill out. He's still a very young hitter, and he was #1 hitter in their organization just as a hitter. The rest of his game has to come along somewhat, but swinging the bat, he can do that.
Yeah, you can't. Now, you're not going to drive the ball to right field shoving that bat, but you can grab a little hang time and be a little better and be a much better breaking ball hitter. So here's Infante. He's 1 for 3. He just rocketed a double down into the left field corner, leading off last inning. There's a strike to even the count at 1. Omar has faced Matt 5 times, has a couple of hits.
And lately, with runners in scoring position, he's been about as hot as anybody in the game.
Yanks that one foul. Matt in command of the count at 1-2. And it's in the hole. Can't knock it down. So here comes Prince on a soft seeing eye single in the hole by Infante. It's 1-0 Tigers.
RBI number 45 and the third hit of the inning. And that slider probably not out quite as much as Matt would have wanted it. Ramirez diving over the top. And that is going to be it for Matt Lindstrom.
So Matt will work 2/3 of an inning. He'll depart. Donnie Veal comes on to face Alex Avila, and we'll be back. $6.10 for halfway to St. Patty's Day and post-game fireworks presented by Miller Lite. Also, the first 20,000 adults ages 21 and over will receive a green White Sox cap. Tickets can be purchased by visiting whitesox.com/SPD.
Our Honda call to the pen is Donnie Veal. He's 2-3 his ERA, a little above 5.5 on for the 42nd time. Inherits base runners at first and second. It is now a 1-0 game as the Tigers have broken through this scoreless tie. And Veal on to face Avila, who's been swinging the bat well.
He's had 3 good at-bats tonight. Coming up with only 1 hit. That was that double. The last inning got the job done after Infante let it off with a double. He got him over to third with a hard hit ground ball right side. So 2 out, 2 on, 1 in.
That was a get off me ball swing. Yep. That's one where you just say, phew, didn't hit me. Good.
He's faced Veal twice. He's 0 for 2. Curveball came back and grabbed the inside corner. So 0-2 the count. And that breaking ball gets away, so the runners will advance.
Charging a wild pitch to Donnie Veal. And both runners move up. That one hung way inside.
Yes, he did. He gone, but they come up with one, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 1-0 Detroit.
Miller and Dan Jiggets take you right to the field to hear from players and coaches and deliver the best analysis in town. It's Bears Post Game Live, presented by Nissan, after every Bears game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Don Kelly checks in the game defensively in left field. Anibal Sanchez still in the game.
Top of the order for us here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Tigers. It'll be Leury Garcia, who was 3 for 3, 2 stolen bases, and a couple of just brilliant plays. Outfield short and swung around to the right. Tries to bunt it on a high pitch. Just jabs at it. Where's Dixie Walker when you need it?
It's okay to think about a bunt, just a bad pitch to bunt.
One out. 10 strikeouts now for Anibal. And fans you've known for years that StubHub is a great place to find the seats you want to see our Sox play live. Now they've added StubHub fan rewards, so you can earn a little extra with your tickets, like seat upgrades. So head to StubHub and get your White Sox tickets today. Of course, Dixie Walker was the guy who made Mateo Alou into a 300 hitter.
By swinging down on everything.
Yeah, that same pitch that he bunted at was high up on out of the zone. Matty Alou could take that pitch and hit it straight down. Jordan is now 1 for 2 with 2 walks. He's had some good at-bats tonight, and he's been having some good at-bats. So good speed aboard. He's 6 for 8 in stolen bases.
He got that one off the end of the bat, but was able to hit it hard enough to get it over Infante's head. So he represents a tying run.
So here's Alexei. 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 10 in this series. He's got a good move to first base. Gotta be careful.
He does take a while to deliver the ball. And we haven't seen a slide step yet. Doesn't mean he doesn't have one. Just means that he hasn't used it. Thus, he's given up 3 stolen bases tonight. Cabrera is even with the bag and right on the line. They can live with a base hit to his left. It's not to his right.
Two and 1 the count. His next pitch will be number 114. His high this season is 130. And the count 3 and 1. Don't help him out. Decent lead. There he goes. And there he's got no chances. That's ball 4. He wouldn't have any chance anyway, as he takes a lot of time delivering that ball to the plate, even with a good move to first. And here comes Leland.
And the man they got to back up Benoit, Veras, coming into the game. So that's it for Sanchez. And as Veras comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. On CSN. Tune in as John Danks takes the hill against Cleveland's Corey Kluber. Don't miss White Sox Indians tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Our Honda call-up man is Jose Veras. They're 0-5 this year with a 2.90 ERA. On for the 60th time, the 18th time as a member of these Tigers. He inherits pretty much the game on the bases. Runners at first and second, one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Anibal Sanchez, his night is over. He went 7 1/3, struck out 10, walked 4, gave up 5 hits, and is responsible for the 2 men left.
Paulie 0 for 3 against Veras, and he's 0 for 3 tonight. Veras got a good curveball. That one misses.
Ooh, that one didn't miss. That one Larry Vanover missed. And there's a break for Paulie. This is a terrific curveball.
Now too much time. One 8-0 for them. 0-5-1 for us. In the rubber match of this 3-game set. Paulie takes it right there.
Iglesias playing up the middle with Cabrera still playing Paul as a pull hitter over toward the line and deep. Reed and Petrichka.
One and two the count. Got him. Two down.
Throws him a splitter. Ball didn't like the call. Got a break on the first one. Did not catch a break on the last one. And Jim Leland comes out. I don't think he wants Veras to face Adam Dunn. So Smiley comes into the ball game, a lefty-lefty matchup. And we'll step out and be back after these messages. Smiley at 5-0 this year with an ERA of 2.31 on for the 55th time. On most teams, he's going to be probably a middle of the rotation starter. On this team, he's one of their left-handed specialists out of the pen. And with 2 on and 2 out, he'll go head-to-head with Adam Dunn.
Adam has faced Smiley 9 times, has 2 hits, 1 home run. But on the other side of that page, 6 punch-outs. So 2 on, 2 out. And down in St. Pete, Mike Carp has just had a grand slam home run in the top of the 10th. Carmine's lead Tampa Bay 7-3. Boston, they hang on and win, will have a 9.5 game lead over Tampa Bay, 11 over Baltimore, 10.5 over the Yankees. I think the magic number is now 9 for the Red Sox.
Adam didn't particularly like that last call, but Larry Vanover has a deciding vote. Nice stop by Alex Avila. Keeps a force out in order. Keeps the tie and go ahead run out of scoring position. It's a good effort to his left. Angling his body, keeping the ball right in front of him.
Come on, big man. We need you right here. Retire the side. 4 strikeouts tonight for Adam, and we trail it 1-0.
For White Sox Postgame Live, presented by Orland Park Nissan. Get their take on tonight's game and all the action around the league. Don't miss White Sox Postgame Live tonight right after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Jake Petrichka comes into the game. He's looking at a 1-0 deficit on for the 9th time. ERA 1.80. And some pretty good numbers for the first year hard-throwing right-hander.
Here's Iglesias. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Looking for it, got it. Couldn't do anything with it. Hosea struck out a couple times and grounded to third. Just tuning in, Pittsburgh beat Texas 7-5 down at Arlington. So they sweep that series. St. Louis is leading 5-1 over Milwaukee. That game in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Cardinals coming into tonight with a 1-game lead. One and two the count. Ate him up. One out.
Good fastball up and in. And Iglesias didn't get much of it. It shattered his bat. And Jake was able to make the play. There was a lot of late movement on that fastball. And no chance at all for Iglesias.
Here's Austin Jackson. Strikeout. Reached on an error that was hit very hard. Then he lined out very hard to center, and then he was hit by a pitch. He did not hit him. His shirt.
That's the jersey. Way. If you're going to get hit, that's the way to get hit.
Yeah.
Get hit right on the 14, but catching no part of the body at all.
Fouls that one down, and to count 0-2. For our guys, schedule hitters, Aviciel, Garcia, Viciedo, and Fagley in the bottom of the 9th.
Joaquin Benoit starting to loosen in the pen.
Benoit with 17 saves.
He's been perfect this year.
And that got Fagley. Got him good.
That one didn't feel real good. Got him right on the side of the head. And Jake bounced this one, and unfortunately it caught none of the mass. Got him high on the shoulder, probably the collarbone, and bounced off the side of his head. Hermie with a big smile on his face because it didn't hit him.
Well, the players know they'd rather just go ahead and say, I'm okay, Herm.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, please.
Don't take me back to the training room. Whatever you do.
So 2-2 the count with one out. And that's a base hit in the right field. And that'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey's 1 for 4. And here's what Torrey did in the 7th inning with a man on third base and a man on first and 2 out. Watch this play.
Would have scored the go-ahead run, but Yuri Garcia would have none of it.
Austin 7 for 11 in stolen bases. And the Oakland A's are going to open up a 3-game lead over Texas.
Rafael Belliard, the first base coach, talking with Jackson. Big lead at first base by Austin Jackson.
There's a strike to even the count at 1. And the A's come down to Arlington this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to take on the Wranglers. And there's a base hit. Another all-speed pitch. So 2 all-speed pitches in a row hit hard for base hits.
Second hit of the night for Hunter. And now it means that you can't pitch around Cabrera. David Percy and Dylan Axelrod.
Now Texas has a day off tomorrow, and Oakland has one more game with the Twinkies. But right here we got enough problems. We trail at 1-0. We got 1 out, 2 on, and the best hitter in the game at the plate. Cabrera 1 for 3 tonight.
With runners in scoring position, Miguel Cabrera hitting a robust .413. He leads the American League, as you would think he would with those numbers. Alan Craig of St. Louis leads the majors at .454, and Freddie Freeman of the Braves .444, hitting with runners in scoring position.
All right. He falls down, but he's going to turn it anyway. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. We need 1 to tie.
Miller Light, and it came in the 8th inning. Omar Infante up, takes it through the left side, The big man, Prince Fielder, scores the only run of the ball game to this point, and that is our Miller moment. Ron Santiago checks in the game defensively at third. And Joaquin Benoit comes in the ball game on for the 57th time. He's 17 for 17 in save opportunities, 61 strikeouts in 56 innings.
All right, boys, let's get a pair. Here's Garcia. He's popped to second, grounded to second, and grounded to third. Big gap out there in left center and a long look in. As he takes ball one.
This is a very deep outfield all the way around. Don Kelly is a couple of steps from the warning track in left. It's about the deepest Austin Jackson has been in center field. And Torrey Hunter way back in right in a no double set.
Big rip. Good pitch to hit. And fouls it straight back.
This one was right down the middle. Just got under it.
Pulled off of it just enough. Checks it up, takes the ball. 2-1 to count. You're just tuning in. Leury Garcia, 3 for 4 tonight with 2 stolen bases. Has 3 of our 5 hits. Jordan Danks has 1 and Fegley has the other. Another good pitch to hit, another good pass, but meanwhile 2-2.
Very good night for the man you're looking at. Not only with the 3 hits, but defensively he's been outstanding at second base.
Yeah, he put a little showtime on.
Gave you a little bit of an idea about just what kind of talent there is in there.
Full count. That fastball at 98.
And while leaned back, tried to throw a letter high fastball by him.
Ball full base hit. Jammed him. David Wells pitch right there. 1 out. And by that I mean David Wells on 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 with strong right-handed hitters. He was a left-handed pitcher. He used to go right underneath their hands. The boomer. And here is Tank. Tank's 0 for 3. A couple of ground balls to short, then a fly out to center.
Connor Gillespie in the on-deck circle. He's going to come on to pinch hit.
Not too many pitchers have employed Boomer's philosophy on that. It served him well for a long time. He just missed that one. He just missed it. Iglesias 2 down.
Well, against young, anxious hitters, throwing that ball inside and forcing them, if they can, to get their hands out when you throw 97, 98 is not a bad strategy. So far, he's gotten 2 pop-ups with it.
He just missed that last one, though. So here's Gillespie. Fagley was 1 for 2 tonight. Takes first pitch strike. Marcus Semien on deck if Connor can reach. Flips that one foul, and the count 0-2. All right, Connor, good 2-strike hitter, buddy. Come on. Let's give him a finish. And this ball game is over. I tell you, Jose Quintana, 17 no decisions. That's unbelievable.
Leads the league in that department. And unfortunately, his record for this season is never going to indicate just exactly how good he's been. And another no decision tonight as the Tigers take the rubber match of the series, winning it 1-0 in a tough and tight game. And unfortunately, that bullpen for the Tigers a little too good tonight.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. Indeed, it is our 24-year-old southpaw, Jose Quintana, going 7 innings, no runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angie, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, and Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Frank Leone, Doug Bullard, Sound and Sound. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, the Orland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet.